morning, staff and school council members. I'm Jack, and this is Abby, and we're in front of the Department of Education, and we're currently visiting all schools around Victoria to advise and speak to schools about changing the current policies on drug and alcohol within their own school. So Abby is currently working in the drugs administration, and I'm from the alcohol sector. And we're both pretty familiar with our own programs. So if you have any questions at the end of our presentation, just speak to one of us directly. Our recommendations come from evidence-based research from the government, local government and federal government. And the basis of our proposal stems from the Victorian Department of Education. Our statistics and data have been collected from the Australian Bureau of Statistics and some other recent studies that can be found in scholarly researches. So to get underway, we felt as though we could present our current pitch in 6 key criteria, or 6 key selection factors. Yeah. So number 1, what are realistic and educative goals of alcohol and drug education? What are the purpose of alcohol and drug education in schools?
So the goal of drug education is for students to become aware of how dangerous drugs are and how badly they can affect individuals who take them over a period of time. We want the students to learn about what harmful products are found in the different types of drug, and also the immediate effect of the drug that will happen to an individual who takes them. As a school, it is important that we are informing the students, parents, on what we are educating our students in regards to drug education, so they can reinforce the same points. If school and home are taking on a teamwork approach to these students will be more likely to believe how dangerous it is to take drugs, and that it isn't acceptable not only in a school community but the wider community. In the recent drug report provided by the Australian Institute of Health and Wellbeing Statistics showed that the average age of individuals to take up smoking tobacco was between 12 and 14. In the graph that you can see, there is a decrease seen in the age gap since 2001, but if you look at the next age group, there is a massive increase seen. This is very concerning since the students are learning about tobacco smoking and the harm it causes individuals, and they're learning about that in primary school. If you also have a look at the next graph, it is in relation to illicit drug use. In this graph you can see the statistics that 17% of individuals between the age of 14 and 19 have recently used illicit drugs. This is very concerning, just like the tobacco smoking, with the next age group once again showing a massive increase in use. The goal and proposal we would like to give to schools would be to warn students about the dangers of drugs and when they are taking them, how harmful they are, and also what harmful products are found inside those drugs. It looks to be crucial that we are educating students while they are at school, because the highest trends of students using illicit drugs are in the years following when they leave school.
Yeah, and to further address what Abby has said, our aim is to provide schools with realistic and achievable goals. And the purpose is to ultimately educate students to become critical thinkers and emphasise the value of choices in life. Our goals are not necessarily to have zero tolerance or a zero tolerance school or a drug-free school, but to provide students with the education programs, resources and support needed in the event that substance use begins to occur. We believe that empowering students with education. Would you like to attend to the front office? I think there's someone that just needs to be aware. We believe that empowering students will provide the best pathway to make healthy decisions and healthy choices. So not only in school but outside of school. So our program will be to make sure that students are making choices that impact their whole entire lives. Ultimately, harm minimisation is the goal here. and the key to harm minimisation isn't to encourage, but to prepare individuals for the outcomes associated with use. Welcome back, Abby.
I'm sorry about that.
No worries, we just had some people knocking on the front door to our education program. So we'll jump right ahead to the next question. Why should schools, secondary schools, as we've been presented to, include drug and alcohol program in their education curriculum?
It is important that students are starting to get educated about drugs while they are at primary school, which has a focus on medicine and tobacco, leading to illicit drugs and alcohol awareness in secondary schools. Having an effective drug education is important because young individuals are faced with many influences to both illicit drugs at an early age than they would have been, just say, 20 years ago. Education plays a critical role in an individual's safety, moderation and informed decision-making skills when faced with these issues. As seen in recent times, students as young as 12 have been caught selling drugs at school, illicit drugs at school, so it is important that all students are receiving effective drug education awareness to reduce the impact of the harm on students. Having a harm minimisation approach aims to reduce the adverse health, social and economical consequences of drugs by minimising or limiting the harm and hazard of the drug. Engaging students in drug education activities to assist them to make healthy and safe choices, identifying risky situations and develop strategies for them to prepare for challenging situations. Learning these kind of skills from an early age is crucial for students, especially in today's society with what they're faced with.
So furthermore, on top of Abby's perspective, it is essential for schools to incorporate drug and alcohol education in schools or in the curriculum to prepare for students for life inside and outside of school. So whether this be once they finish school or this is also in preparation for life outside of school hours. We believe that schools play a major role in contributing to the current and future societies and communities, and so it's the immediate and long-term perspective for both school and community-based approaches. We found as well that alcohol and drug statistics say that exposure comes with alcohol from 12 to 17, with up to 30% have experienced drinking more than 4 drinks at once in one sitting, and up to 31% have been exposed to some form of drug before the age of 18. So it's not only essential to provide students with resources and education, but support is a major factor in this approach. So next question we've got here, or next key factor, would be why should schools implement a whole school approach when implementing evidence-based drug education?
If the school is aiming to have a successful drug education program, it is essential for a whole school approach to be put in place that has been done through adequate planning. There are 3 areas that should be focused on when planning for a whole school approach. The first area is curriculum, teaching and learning. So that is making use of resources that are out there, such as the Get Ready education program, sharing school experiences and knowledge with other schools, encourage input from students, teachers and parents and guardians on drug awareness, ensure content is relevant to the curriculum. Also integrating, combining this with other curriculum areas, promoting drug awareness on staff boards, staff notice boards, and utilising positive peer role models. So having those people just going around the school just reinforcing, like with other students, how important it is not to take drugs and to look after themselves. The second area is school organisation, ethos and environment. And for this you could do things such as put drug awareness posters around the school, have drug awareness week activities, have support services within the school for students to use if needed, involve parents and guardians, get feedback from external sources when needed, have professional development days for teachers on drug awareness, develop, implement and review school drug education policies and guidelines. And the last area is partnerships and services. and that can be done through meetings and interviews with parents and guardians. Encourage parents to work with their child on educating them about drugs at home. Include drug education information in school newsletters and websites. Conduct a health conference with health professionals, and have students model to each other relevant information regarding drugs.
So just to add on again, we found as though ultimately it is important to take on a whole school approach because it involves school members, it involves staff members, it involves parents, carers, and it also takes into consideration the community reach and working towards a common goal. We feel as though if the school takes a whole school approach, then the school is an active leader in developing a thriving, positive environment. And the sheer weight of numbers from the school will be dedicated to the cause, which will help achieve that effect. So effectively, what you're having is the school addressing the needs of the wider community, and a safe environment which is created allows for students to find a sense of belonging within the school and within the community. So what are the key areas? Next question, sorry. We've got what are the key areas and teaching approaches for drug education and the reasons. So I'll hand over to my specialist and she can provide those for you.
There are a number of different resources that are available to help with teaching drug education, which is provided by the government. For Year 7 to 9 students, the government has created the Get Ready program, which is an evidence-based drug and alcohol program, which has been successfully trialled in 21 schools and has been very successful. This program has also received national awards, and the program comes supplied with teacher manuals and student workbooks. Doing these lessons sequentially will provide the opportunity for students to be reinforced with this valuable information, not only on drugs but also alcohol. This information provides